Kieran.
Thank you very much. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Uh-oh. That's not good. Let me try again. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't record myself at all. But let's just leave it like that. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. It's Kieran, and I...
This is a real shit show.
This is a real shit show of an episode, but luckily I can...
We've got a guest in. It looks probably very fancy from the guest point of view, right? And oh wow, probably professional and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And
well, how about I introduce him in the proper way?
And you're fiddling with his mic and getting the levels right, and you forgot yours.
I forgot
yours.
I was recording other guitar parts with that channel, and now I turned it down because I was doing other things. And with us today...
Do you know what it is? It's the new stand.
It is the new stand.
It's the new stand that's fucked you up.
It's fucked me right up. Yeah. And with us today, super excited to have him on the show. He is a naturopath, a lifelong learner, and a freelance health... what did I write here?
Health writer?
Health writer.
Yeah,
that would be the word. Freelance health writer. Stefan Filippo from Stefan Filippo Health. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you doing?
Oh, very, very well. Very, very well. Very exciting times.
It is. And I've got a lot to pick your brain about.
Okay.
Right? About health stuff.
That sounds good.
Good stuff.
It's good.
Good.
It's good.
But, sorry, I have to just stop the podcast.
Please do.
Very exciting
Please
news.
do. Let's get it right with
Turch has proposed to his girlfriend.
Hey, that's it.
Did she say yes?
She did.
Oh, that's
amazing.
even better.
So, fiance over here, very exciting. So, she said yes. The ring's on. You know, last week she was complaining that I didn't clean the bathrooms, and now she's married. Now she said we're gonna get married.
Now she said yes, and she's going to clean all the bathrooms for you.
You're
you're very smart there,
Not
Turch.
a smart yes.
And you told us how you proposed, and I won't repeat it, but from what I heard, was that you were down on one knee.
Yep.
She was in the bedroom changing or doing something.
Yeah.
And you must have been on your knee for probably a good 45 minutes.
It was
waiting for her to come out of the bedroom, and you just surprised her. That's basically what I heard.
My knee's very sore.
Yeah.
I actually made we picked up the ring from the jeweler, and on the way home I was laughing to myself. So I get the yoga mat out, Jess, so I can get down on one knee and be comfortable and safe.
Yeah.
Maybe a pillow, whatever works best. But no, I just went straight onto the hardwood floors, and
you're a dangerous man.
I like
Dedicated.
to live dangerously. But yes, it's very exciting. I'm sure that I'll be ranting about wedding stuff for the next up until the wedding, but that's just the way it's going to be, little darling. Speaking of that, Kieran,
Yes.
have you got a rant for us?
I do have a rant.
Oh, lovely.
And okay, so there were these gang of people.
So
outside.
far, racist. So far,
What's that?
Racist. So far.
Oh, they were white, so I'm not sure if that's really racist or not.
It's a thing anyway.
All right, this is where we definitely get kicked off Facebook. And I'm sitting in the car and I'm watching this, and this guy's pointing at this other guy, and I've got that crappy, laid back, no testosterone music playing, you know. That
Slim Dusty.
Not Slim Dusty, but very indie, laid back, chill.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this guy. I can't see the words, but he's like falling in this guy's other face. There's a gang of them, right? And he's pointing, and he went to hit the other guy.
Oh.
Right. Meanwhile, I've got this nice, chilled music playing.
It's like a Quentin Tarantino film where he puts like the calm music and the big fights happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuck at a red light, and nothing's going. No. Anyway, he goes to hit the guy, and he doesn't connect. And then the other guy jumps in, and then they just sort of like hold and wrestle, and then that was it. I wanted that guy to smack the other person. And I've got into UFC lately.
Uh-huh.
Right? I'm very disappointed with UFC. Ultimate
Right.
Fighting Championship
Well
or
done.
something.
Good,
club.
you did it.
Yeah.
Sounds
Right.
good. Sounds legit.
Apart from Connor the other night knocking, no, we didn't quite knock the guy out. I think it was a technical knockout.
Something like that.
Something like that. Every time I turn on, it's just a wrestling match.
Right.
This isn't. I got told to do the rant last minute, people.
I was gonna say the UFC is a wrestling match because like it's kind of wrestling, but it's more. There is like you're.
I just want them
boxing.
to smack someone in the face and knock him out.
You're wanting to watch boxing.
Yeah.
Or remember that I'm pretty sure it's shut down now because the internet's super sanitized. But
The
remember,
Year 12 Fight Club.
well, there was that.
We were talking about that last night. It was Year 11 Fight Club, wasn't it?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
At some certain high school.
It's
Yeah.
in high school. We can't
No.
talk about that one.
Okay.
But I remember there used to be a website called Bum Fights. Anyone remember that site?
Bum fights, yes.
Yeah, it was just like people used to film, like go, oh, you two bums fight, and whoever wins gets a sandwich. And these two bums would fight it out, like full duke it out, and then the winner would get a sandwich. And people just used to film it, put it on the internet. You can't do that anymore. I remember that being on YouTube for a bit. Can't do that anymore.
You could fake it though, sort of in a way.
But isn't that that's like professional wrestling now?
Oh,
yeah,
got you
true.
there.
What's the point of WWF? We can't.
I think.
You was worried. You were upset that a guy nearly got punched and didn't. That's what. If you fake it, that's exactly the same.
Anyway, I just wanted to see some fighting. You know, like I can't fight. I can't save myself.
Yeah.
If someone was knocking the crap out of you, I'd be like, he's done. It's nice to know him. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. You know, I'm going to get my celebrant's license soon, so I'll do the funeral.
That's right. It's about getting that one good punch in, I think. One good punch to the dick, and that's it.
Speaking of becoming a celebrant.
Yeah. I don't know where you're going with this.
I just heard you say punch in the dick, and then I've just started...
Yeah, I know. Speaking of celebrant. Okay.
Which are not priests.
No.
Who probably love dicks. Right.
We've talked about this before. Get them the sex doll.
Do you know the celebrant course is 12 months because you also are allowed to do funerals?
Oh, wow.
And naming ceremonies.
I could be named.
Yeah.
What even is a naming ceremony?
What's that?
What even is a naming ceremony?
Oh, I don't know. I'll find out
Fair enough.
when I do the
I'll
course.
get back to you in 10 to 12 weeks. Very exciting. Well, today, like I said, very special guest. We have Stefan on the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Which is awesome. We wanted to get someone on here to talk about being healthy and fit. Because Stefan, about, how long ago was it? About 5 months ago?
Oh, 6 months ago.
We did a weight loss challenge on this show. And it was Kieran and I, and we both said over 2 months, we were going to lose, whoever lost the most body percentage would win the competition and have to read and the loser would have to read a 250-word apology written by the winner. And we did really well. So I was doing the keto diet for that period of time, and Kieran also swapped over from light and easy to the keto diet.
Yeah.
And we did really well. He lost, 8.5 kilos or so?
Something like that.
And I lost 9.5 kilos.
Whoa.
We did really, really well. Very exciting stuff. And since then, we have been really unfit.
Yeah.
And we're not
I've done keto again.
You've done back.
But I think I've put everything on and
That's
I'm
right.
now drinking beer.
That's right. True. Me too.
Keto beer or just regular beer?
Oh, this has got carbs in it.
This definitely
This is got a lot of carbs.
So, we thought we'd get you on the show. And we can have a chat about being fit. Some of the articles I've read through most of your stuff over the week, which is amazing. But
That
first
explains
of all,
the 2 views per day.
Yes, that was me.
You and my mum.
So, nonetheless, let's start off. Because I remember I've known you for a while, like on and off and this and that, but you were a finance guy
Yeah, I was.
for a while, and then the next time I saw you, which was at the
Darkness.
Darkness,
Yep.
you're like, yeah, I've completely changed. I've gone into this whole naturopath sort of thing. So let's go. How did you get from finance? What was your story from there to going, this is what I want to do for my career?
Good question. So,
Actually, back it up. Why did you
Alright.
even go into finance?
even better question. I can explain that one. So in year 9, we did this careers as one of our subjects. We had this computer program which predicted what you should do, and mine came out as actuary. And I'm like, oh yeah, economics, maths, accounting. I'm good at all those things. I suppose I should be an
You know
actuary.
what I got? I remember that.
What do you get?
I got religious leader. And I'm like, I'm the whole time.
I got music therapist. I don't even play an instrument.
So I just thought to myself, I'm going to be the Pope.
Fair
There's
enough.
no other choice.
You could start your own religion and be the leader of
I
that.
only need 1,000 people. And
Yeah.
this is what the podcast is really about.
Yeah, the
that's a
tax.
good
I know
idea.
that. I'm on you with this. The tax. Yeah. All right. So you're told you're going to deal with.
I'm going to be an actuary. That's
Yeah.
what I've been told. So I go to Melbourne Uni, do commerce degree there, start with actuarial studies. Found out it wasn't for me, so swapped into eco finance. I liked economics. I liked finance. I liked economics probably a bit more.
Hang on. I'm not financially literate.
That's the one.
That's
Yep.
the one. what the hell is the difference between economics and finance?
I suppose economics is like the base. Like we do a lot of economic subjects in our first year as like learning the theory behind everything. I suppose economics is how the economy works, and finance is more like looking at the markets. And I can't really tell you 100%. It's been a long time for me. Yeah.
All right, that's okay.
And then accounting's like the actual transactional.
Yeah,
level.
stop me paying tax. That's
Yeah,
what.
That's what we want.
That's
That's what you're good for.
Yeah.
Economics is more macro.
Yeah.
Finance is more organization within the market.
Yeah, okay, all right.
And then accounting is...
They overlap quite a lot.
Yeah.
We've lost Alice now.
Of course, yeah.
Our one listener, she's gone. She's out. Yeah.
I suppose then in my second year of my degree, I got really, really sick with glandular fever, and I thought it was just the cold at first. You know, I couldn't get out of bed. I had a stuffy nose and all that stuff there. So I thought, I'll get over it in a week. A week passed, 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So I decided to go to my doctor, and she said, oh no, you're fine. It's just a cold. And this is a doctor I saw as a child, and I was quite a hypochondriac as a child. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go see someone else. Went to see her. She did the blood test. Like, yep, you've had Epstein-Barr virus, so the glandular fever virus, which really devastated me. So I was in bed probably 14, 16 hours most days. And when I was up, I didn't even have enough energy to stand upright, to be honest. So they just said, yeah, you just need to rest, take it easy, and you'll get over it. And I thought, okay.
Doctors.
So I did that, and look,
Hey, you take that back. You take that back.
Hey, you're not an MD, mate. You're just one of those regular doctors. To put it in perspective for you, Steph, Kieran is a doctor of psychology. So every time I make jokes about doctors...
I like it.
It's mainly about him.
Well, doesn't doctor mean teacher? I mean, I'm technically a teacher at economics, so somewhat of a doctor.
Oh, I think there's
But
a
not
Latin
quite.
term which is like wisdom and
Aren't you a
teacher of wisdom or something
I
like
like
that.
that.
He's
That sounds
ascended
good.
that into professor. He does teach at a prestigious university.
Too good.
So glandular fever
Yeah.
gets you into this space where you're basically not studying anymore, or
Oh, not quite. No, I did. I finished the degree and everything. It was just I was sort of looking for answers while I was doing my economics degree. So went through the specialist, went to the doctors for about 2 years, and all the blood tests were quote unquote normal. So they're like, oh, well, nothing's wrong with you. You're fine. You're the picture of health. And I'm like, are you looking at me right now? Like, I can't stand up straight. I have horrible bags on my eyes. And I literally had lost like 10 kilos in 2 or 3 months. There's your weight loss challenge, fellas. You know, get glandular fever.
So you're saying you lost weight
Yes.
without doing any exercise.
I couldn't, in fact.
And all right, okay.
Yeah,
there's pros
one
and cons.
coronavirus. Here
There's
we go.
pros and cons to everything, I guess.
HIV I hear helps that too.
I've heard that too, yeah. Quite miraculous weight loss stories.
Were you sleeping a lot? Like you felt miserable.
I was terrible. Yeah, I was miserable as fuck.
You were
Yeah.
miserable when you were awake.
Yes,
But
probably
you're
around.
out 2/3 of the day.
No, like I was in bed a lot.
Okay.
But just the extra, maybe I was asleep for 10 or 12 hours, but then the extra 2 hours either side was just couldn't move.
And this
you know
is
what
sort
I
of pre when YouTube got really good and pre Netflix.
Oh, I didn't even think I had a good phone with like a good internet. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
think
so
I was just actually in bed.
So proper suffering.
Maybe with a book, but maybe not.
Who reads?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I lost that skill.
Yeah, I'm with you there. People tell me to read books, and I said I've read way too much to get my degree. I'm done. I'm out. I'm finished. That's it. I've met my quota. All right. So you're looking for answers.
Looking for answers. Didn't find any in the conventional system. My doctor at the time was smart enough to say, look, Steph, I've done everything I can for you. I think there is something more than what the specialists are saying. So she suggested I find another modality. So my mum had been seeing a naturopath, and I went to see her, see what she could do. And she started talking about gut health and parasites and detoxification, and I started getting some results. And I was like 55 kilos at this stage, so or about 58 I think I was. So
Now pre-naturopath,
yes.
were you a beer drinker,
Nope.
smoker,
Nope.
wheat lover?
I suppose I have my sandwich. I come from an Italian household, so
Okay.
yeah.
So a lot of wheat, a lot of gluten.
Yeah. Started seeing her, started seeing some results. Saw an acupuncturist a little bit more, saw an osteo a little bit more, but there was nothing that was really like major that was going to like that really moved the needle a lot for me. I was still in pain a lot of the time. I was still really tired all the time. I still didn't have energy really. I just didn't really have a zest for life anymore. So it was like in my honors year of my economics degree where I just happened to change dentists just because I didn't like the dude I was seeing. And she's like, why are you coming to see me? I'm a very expensive dentist. Like, there's a reason. And I said, oh, look, here's what I've been dealing with. I don't know what to do. I'm sort of about to give up. I don't know what to do next. And she said, you sound like the poster boy for mercury poisoning, or mercury toxicity rather. And I said, tell me more. I'm interested. Listed all the symptoms: cold hands, cold feet, terrible energy, always getting sick, having a shit time pretty much. And I said, okay, what's a test? So you cut off your hair, send it off to the lab. I think 6 weeks later, they came back with the results, and I got the call from the receptionist like, oh, Dr. Lisa would really like to see you now. It's urgent. I'm like, oh, this is probably great news. This is really good. And sure enough, mercury came back off the charts high. So it was great. I mean, it sounds terrible, right? Like I'm, full of mercury, but at least I had something to do.
So you have a solution.
I have,
an answer to it.
That's exactly it. Because like when you know what it is, you can work with it. But if you don't know what it is, you're just sort of trying to be healthy. And
so how did you get the mercury? Were you taking mercury tablets?
I stopped them. No, I'm just like 2 big exposures probably. Mum had about 15 or so silver fillings. So our parents probably had a lot of silver fillings, and you think they're silver. Okay, they're 50% mercury, 50% silver. So they leach into the bloodstream. When you got a kid in your stomach, they get passed into the kid through the placenta as well. And then obviously tuna was quite a big one as well. So like back when I finished high school, I started getting into go to the gym and trying to get hashtag gains and stuff like that. So I was having a lot of tuna. Look, tuna's not the worst thing, to be honest. Like there are things you can do to mitigate the mercury from tuna, but I think just with me getting the glandular fever just really just slowed my body down so much that I wasn't getting rid of it quick enough, and I was just getting it coming in more than I could get rid of it, essentially. Yeah. So it allowed it to build up, and sure enough, the levels were off the charts. And when I started on a protocol for that, my pain started going away. I didn't have to sleep so much. Like my brain started coming back, and just like I got my life back. It was fantastic. And it's a work in progress. I'm still 6 years later, 5.5 years later, still getting my mercury levels down.
Amazing.
Yeah. There we go.
Far out.
Where to from here, fellas?
That's crazy.
I can't.
Okay. All right. So then you go. You've done an honours.
In economics.
Economics and
you smart people.
wrote a thesis or something.
I did something like that. Yeah.
Well done. Honours is a shit year.
It was a terrible year.
Honours is it's the shittest year out of all of it. If you can get through honours, you can do a PhD. Like that's my thought on it. All right, and then you go stuff this. I've done 4 years now. I'm done. I'm finished.
Not quite. I taught economics I still am teaching economics at the university.
Okay, so you go now. I'm going down a different pathway.
Yeah, I was always interested in the natural medicines, and that was like my 5th subject. Every semester, just like trying to figure out my health, trying to learn about the thyroid or learn about blood sugar management or something like that, and just trying to get better. And then when I was teaching full time, I had a lot more time to actually look into my health and learn from a few more people. And and then I think 2 years after full-time teaching at the uni, I decided to hop back into school. Like me and my ex-partner, my then partner, broke up and did a bit of soul searching, as one does at this critical stage in life, and decided it was time to go back. I was just I always wanted to study this stuff, but I was like waiting until I quote unquote got better, until I was healed, so to speak. Yeah.
Now you talk about natural medicine.
Yes.
And I don't know if you get offended by this question, it's because I don't know how to word things right.
Go for it.
What is the difference between, I guess, natural medicine and, I guess, conventional medicine? Is that the wording I'm looking for here?
Yeah, that's the one.
All right.
That sounds pretty good. Ask the doctor over here.
Yeah, well, that's psychology. It's not even real.
Don't go down that pathway.
That's just average statistics.
Let me interpret what Turch is trying to say. He's saying, what is the difference between science, i.e. psychology, and astrology?
And what is the difference?
Yeah, what is the difference? I don't know. Nonetheless, so what is the difference? Would you categorize like natural medicine compared to
conventional
medicine? Because I would say that some people will have a negative view comparatively to someone say, I saw a naturopath or acupuncture or something like that, compared to someone go, I went to like a physio and they're all got the credentials, the ticking boxes, all this sort of stuff. What would you say is the biggest difference, and how would you distinguish both? Because it seems like there is some overlap.
Of course.
but it also some fringes on either side. Where,
of course.
Yeah. So how would you describe it?
I suppose they all exist within a spectrum, right? Like doctors, naturopaths, acupuncturists, the end goal is to help their patients get better. They just have different tools for it. An acupuncturist uses their needles and their herbs. A naturopath would use lifestyle-based interventions, dietary interventions, herbal medicines, stuff like that. A doctor, in the very conventional sense, would use their drugs as their toolbox and maybe some dietary recommendations if they've been learned or if they've been taught that kind of stuff. But I think what we tend to see is like the conventional medicine seems to break the body up into organ systems and look at them separately. And that can be great. If you want to learn about something, you need to know how they function independently. But you need to put them all back together, and that's what I feel like naturopathy does.
Okay.
We put it back together. We say, okay, you might have a gut issue, Turch. Do we just look at your gut? Yes, we definitely do. But we look at everything else as well. We look at the health of your nervous system. We look at, are you stressed? We look at, are you taking your shit every day? We look at, are you taking your shit every day?
Yes.
Good. Perfect.
And what is the quality of this shit,
Yes.
Turch?
10 out of 10?
It's,
Does it come out straight away? Do you
Yeah.
have to push?
yes.
Is it
No,
smelly?
it's-
Are
Does
you
it
using the
float?
spoon as well?
Oh, did you?
How many whites do you take?
How many whites?
Whites.
What? No, did you ever hear that story about the guy who had like the shit knife? And apparently he would use it to... Anyway, you should
Wow.
look it up. It's not a very good story. Very interesting. Well, maybe we'll talk
Was
about
there a
it in
happy
another
ending to this
episode.
story, or?
Yeah, he put it up on Reddit and everyone teased him. And he was like, hey, doesn't everyone have this shit knife? And everyone's like, no. No, they don't.
I have an anal sphincter, which
Yeah,
does it
that's
for me.
It does the job for me. So it's rather than going like, you know, I would agree. Like my doctor would just be like I suffer from migraines every so often. They'd be like, oh yeah, just take Nurofen, sleep it off, this and that. And I've tried that myself, where I go, I'm gonna stop eating certain things,
Yep.
and it does have negative and positive and negative effects on my the consistency of my head of my migraines
Yes.
and all that sort of stuff. And that's what sort of naturopathy. Is that the word?
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
You did it well.
Sort of takes over.
Yeah, I think, look, again, it all does exist within this spectrum. It's like there is no good and bad within this. There are certainly good and bad practitioners within everything, within naturopathy, within regular medicine. But there's a very good, like, there's a place for everything. Like, for instance, if I had a car accident and I broke my leg, I'm not going to see a naturopath until way down the track. I'm going to go to a doctor. They're going to put my leg in place, fix it with a cast, and it's going to grow in the proper way. Later on, I'll look at my herbs, my nutrients and stuff like that to actually repair, but I'm not going to be, doing my Reiki or anything like that. Straight away if I get into a car accident. My gardener does the raking for me, actually. Hey.
So, another controversial topic that I've seen you post a bunch of this sort of stuff recently. It's about detoxing.
Yes.
And now, detoxing for me, I always think of those really cheesy ads.
The lemon detox.
Lemon
and-
detox.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Turch,
Go.
please.
Sorry, Kieran. No, you were so offended.
We detox for about 3 days, and then we get back on the beer.
That's
Now, is
right.
that a detox?
That's a very good question. It
From
depends
a
on, like,
Monday to a Thursday.
between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. every morning, I'm detoxing. I think the first part of detox is obviously to remove these toxic substances, which for me, it's, removing the source of mercury. For you, it might be stopping the alcohol for a while, whatever it is for each person. But yeah, it definitely is a part of it. I wouldn't say it's a whole strategy though.
Yeah, because like when they talked about detoxing, I've heard like both sides, and I love this sort of stuff, where they go, yeah, like you need like the lemon detox, and you drink this tea twice a day, and you do all this sort of stuff, and it gets rid of all the toxins and this and that. To, I don't know if you've ever seen the thing called the Jilly Juice,
No.
which is like this crazy thing where this woman thinks that if you ferment cabbage in water,
Is this sauerkraut or no?
basically to drink it like with all this salt in it, and apparently, basically you just poo everything out. Some people have like died from it. To the other side of things, we go, yeah, detoxing. Well, your liver does all that detoxing. Just make sure your liver's healthy. Where do you sort of sit when it comes to this sort of stuff? Like, would you go, yeah, take a lemon detox, or is it focusing on the liver and the kidneys and how that sort of interacts with the rest of the body?
Yeah, it is looking at the whole body again. It's like we have all our cells are involved in detoxification to some degree, but what we most know is like the liver is most involved. Then we've got the kidneys, we've got the lungs, we've got the lymphatic system, we've got the skin, we've got even our cells. They detoxify within themselves as well. So that whole go on a lemon detox, and in 3 days you'll be cleared of your toxins. I mean, I've been doing this for 5.5 years, trying to get this mercury out of my body.
Yeah.
If I just had enough lemons, would I be good by now? I don't think so. I don't think it's that simple. Yeah, I think it can be done properly. It can be done terribly. You know, there are a lot of shit products out there, and there are some great ones which unfortunately get lumped in with these terrible products as well. Because people hear detox, oh, my friend did a detox, they had diarrhea, they felt horrible, they gained weight, they rebound gained even more weight, stuff like that. Whereas if you do it properly, I think it's sort of crucial in today's day and age, I would say. I think everyone has some level of toxic burden, and it's just really crucial that we are employing some strategies to manage that if we're really serious about our health.
There you go.
Oh, some of it's just clever marketing to get rich quick.
Of course. No doubt about that.
3-day detox is going to be much better than it's going to take you,
It'll take you 7 years and you might get half of it out.
Yeah, the quick fix is
21st century culture, isn't it?
It's sort of just, if you can fix something quickly and it's cheap, you're going to probably go for it, isn't it? Like the simplicity of it.
Yeah, but so many things are multivariate.
Yes, of course.
Multivariate problems, which is very fascinating.
Ooh.
We've got this thing in psychology.
Do we?
Which we as the collective we, which is interesting.
Me and my other professor friends.
The royal we. No, which I find interesting about I don't know much about naturopathy. Naturopathy, that's it.
Took me a while to say that too.
Oh no, yeah.
I'm still getting used to it, fellas.
Yeah. So we do these things because we've got this hard thing about, which is very interesting. You know, you say doctors look at the liver, right? And when they do their research, they go, we're just going to look at the liver because
I'm a liver specialist.
We just want to control this, and I'm going to do my research. We're going to control variables, and I can determine cause and effect. And you go, yeah, all right, that's fine. And we do the same thing in psychology. You know, just people with depression.
So departmentalizing.
Yeah,
things.
Don't want people with anxiety or taking medication because that's going to interfere with our cause and effect. But I think psychology has this problem more than medicine, where we go, well, we've controlled that, but now is that applicable? Can we actually generalize that?
Does it work in the real world? To
the real world, with the person with anxiety and taking medication and all that kind of stuff. Do you have those debates in naturopathy? Thanks, Turch.
Yeah, we do. We actually learn quite a lot about drug interactions in our course because I think most people over the age of, let's say like 40, 50, they're on some form of medication these days. I know a lot of the sort of old folks, they're on like 10, 12, 15 individual pills per day. And each of those pills is going to have an interaction in the body. It's going to have an interaction with the other pills that you're taking. And I know we think that, herbs are all safe, nutrients are all safe. But the thing is, these herbs, these foods, these supplements, they have an interaction in the body that can actually affect how strong or how weak the medication is going to be. So for instance, I think a really common example is grapefruit juice. Right. So people who are on blood thinning medication like warfarin, they're told to avoid grapefruit juice because what it does is it actually decreases the enzyme that breaks down this blood thinning medication. And what that all means is that you have more blood thinning medication that's active in your system, you can bleed out and die.
Wow.
Yeah. Even the oral contraceptive pill. So for the women who are on the pill, another common herb rather is St. John's wort, the one that we tend to think of for depression, like one of the more studied herbs. This actually upregulates detoxification, and what that means is that you can get pregnant if you're on the pill and having St. John's wort at the same time. It actually detoxifies it even quicker from your body, so be careful, fellas and ladies.
Wow.
A few guys are like, I knew it.
I knew herb in the cup, honey. Yeah, there's so many things.
Yeah, so we obviously know detoxification does exist. Yeah, we have a liver, we have a kidneys, but we can't just say that we don't have to do anything because we've got those organs that do it for us. We have to get the right nutrients in to support those processes. We have to make sure we're not taking things that decrease it, or if we are decreasing it, we're doing it, mindfully. Where we're actually saying, I want to decrease this pathway, I want to upregulate this pathway. We need to know what we're doing.
It's like when people take multivitamins, they really don't need it, and they're like, oh, my pee's just bright yellow all morning.
Beautiful pee. Beautiful urine.
Or you get that with Barocca.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Urine luck.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, how about we get back to this detox stuff, because you've got some stuff here about some mindful eating and a couple of your own principles as well. So we'll get back to that, but we got some news articles.
We do. We'll come back. I want to pick your brain about keto.
Definitely. Yes, let's do that. But Kieran, you got some news for us?
And why I lost at Turch.
He was cheating.
I knew it.
He didn't do any exercise.
Ah.
I know it was also on light and easy for a month. Then, then switched
I've
over.
never seen a man so depressed. We met up like he was 3 days in. He came in. He looked like he was.
I was miserable. I was so fucking miserable.
I was having a good time.
Oh.
I had an open hamburger. I was wrapped.
Love it. The hamburger wasn't wrapped though.
No,
Hey.
no.
Turch, don't take this personally. Because you're now getting married, I thought I'd find a love article.
Oh, thank you.
Beauty.
Zoos will let you name a cockroach after your ex and watch it get eaten. Not that I'm saying you're going to break up.
This is like
and then name a cockroach after yes.
This is a scam. This 100% is a scam, and I'll tell you why. This is like those people who go, you can buy a star and name something after it.
Can you live on the star?
Yeah, sorry?
Can you even live on the star?
No, you point to it and name it after someone. Like, they're pointing out the same star. How are you going to know? You're never going to be able to go there. You get a
Do
certificate.
you know how many stars are out there, though?
That's what I mean.
More stars than people on the earth.
Meaningless. Same with this cockroach thing. This is someone who has too much money on their hands.
If you have been...
I bet you they have diversity things at their work as well.
If you have been dumped by the person you thought you'd spend Valentine's Day with, then the San Antonio Zoo has a way to soothe your broken heart. Cry Me a Cockroach is the name of the San Antonio Zoo's skin-tingling event, which offers the recently single and the sufferers of unrequited love a way to celebrate the day as well, for only $5 buckaroos.
Can I put your name on it?
Sure. Anyone can purchase and name a cockroach, which will then be fed to one of the zoo's animals as a snack. If I'm buying that, I want it to go to the crocodile.
What is it?
Are they natural cockroach
I
eaters?
was gonna say, talk about naturopathy here. What animal actually just eats cockroaches?
I don't
It's gonna be some sort of lizard.
A meerkat.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. But yes. And it'll be fed to one of the zoo's animals as a snack, turning wasted love into a savoury treat.
This is a great scam.
Birds
you're
and
right.
reptiles will be offered the cockroaches.
Oh, there you go. I was gonna. Oh,
It sounds like
reptiles?
cockroach eaters.
Wait a second.
If you spend
Crocodile is a reptile.
a little bit more money,
Yeah.
you can pay $25 to name a rat, which will become food for a reptile.
See, I want to name a steak and give it to a lion.
What about a cow?
Yeah.
A whole cow.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think people already do name their cows though.
I was going to say
right?
Betsy or
Yeah, that's
Moo Cow.
cow name.
You could call the cow Kieran and then feed it, watch it. But you don't even get to see the cockroach.
I'd want video proof.
Yeah.
But
You're right, it's a scam.
This is one of those things where they can just go, this is the video of the cockroach, and it's like it's everyone. They send the same video out to everybody.
The same video repeated.
Yeah,
It's not a bad scam though.
it's a good scam.
You know what? If this podcast send us $5,
You're gonna eat a cockroach? Is that what we're gonna?
I'd watch that.
I'd let Turch eat the cockroach.
You know what?
We'll give a love message out for Valentine's Day on your behalf.
I will do it for $50 a cockroach.
$50 a cockroach?
Yep.
Yeah. And we'll make it a scam, so you won't actually eat it.
No, I'll eat one. I'll eat one, and I'll send the same video out to everybody. You go, this is your ex right here. I'll put the name on the screen.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea.
$50.
$50.
Like the
To your Patreon.
You get a few more mic stands.
I know. I ordered 2 new mic stands because we've got other guests coming in the future.
Yeah.
And
Aldi has them on
I
sale. Aldi.
This one came, and then I get a message from the other one. Hi, we don't stock this anymore. I'm like, why do you still have it on Amazon?
Aw.
Ridiculous. Well, speaking of being healthy,
Did we?
the coronavirus is going around.
It is. Apparently, because I've been banging on about going, it's not that many people, and statistically it's
pretty
not
good.
It's not that. Compared to look at the 25 million that are in the Wuhan province or something like that. I was like, and if it was going up like 100, then 1,000, then 10,000, then I would be worried. I read today it's something like 800 or something like that, and 40 people in a shower. I went, alright, I better shut up now.
Well, I've heard that 150 million people are currently quarantined
150 million.
in China alone. Yeah.
Man.
This is like Wuhan, and it's like a 250 kilometer radius.
It must be hard China quarantine them all.
Yeah.
China quarantine them all.
God damn it. Nonetheless.
My brain was working.
Nonetheless.
Very slowly.
I should time it. There should be like a timer of how long it took us for both of us to get that joke.
China quarantine.
Nonetheless, everyone is saying that if you're if you think that Asians have coronavirus, you're racist.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen that? I didn't get it. If Italians had a disease,
Isn't it just probability?
Yeah.
That's what people are just using. They're probably
exactly
just
right.
using probability.
It's like if Italians had a disease, being Italian, stay away.
That's a damn disease.
That's a damn
Terrible disease.
The worst kind. I've always said to people, don't be friends with Italians. Worst. So anyway, Harvey Norman put up the sign. So this is the story in Albury, New South Wales, and it's been criticised for being racist.
Mm-hmm.
And the sign said, no coronavirus in our mattresses, as ours are Australian made. I'm like, that's fantastic!
Oh, wow!
And then, so anyway, it's backlash. They've had to take down the sign. They've had to apologise and this and that because enough people made a stink about it on Twitter.
Yes, that may be the case from people all around the world, but I bet you the sales have increased.
I bet you they have too.
I bet you it was worth it.
But I looked through the Twitter comments and I thought maybe I'll bring some in.
That's factual, though.
It is factual.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No! It's stating fact. So apparently it's racist. I can't work out how, but this woman, all these Twitter comments, I was going to bring in like 3 or 4 of them. But this one, he was the only one that made me go, this is the best Twitter comment about this situation. And this Twitter comment said, I'd rather buy a Chinese one than a racist one. Which to me means she's implying the mattress itself is racist.
And then there's technicalities. Australian, it's probably... There are parts that were probably all made in China, but assembled in Australia.
Yeah. It's like when they say 92% Australian product. You're like, what's the other 8%?
You don't want to know what that other 8% is.
So, speaking of the coronavirus, I thought to myself, well, let's bring in some news about the coronavirus. It's not just a joke about Harvey Norman and obviously advertising. So apparently, the virus itself can be transmitted from animal to human and human to animal and human to human, animal to animal. Mm-hmm. And they're mostly expecting...
And lover to lover.
Lover to lover, all that sort of stuff. And they're expecting...
Cockroach to cockroach.
Yeah, cockroach. They're expecting that, people have been in contact with certain animals and they're going to get sick and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so they're trying to keep people... they're actually... people in China are actually throwing pets out of windows to kill them, to get them out of their homes. Amazing footage. I should find the video and do all that sort of thing.
See, all I would do was I got the email from work and I just went, damn it, why wasn't I in China? Because then I'd have 14 days at home.
God damn.
You know what I mean? Even if I wasn't, but I was travelling overseas and coming back
boss?
from...
I got the coronavirus. Coming to work, mate. So apparently scientists are saying spread around from bats and snakes. That's probably the most, that's how it's being spread around, because rats just run around and bats have been flying around. That woman ate the bat in that video. Did you ever see that video?
No. It was Ozzy Osbourne or different woman?
It was Ozzy Osbourne, different concept. Yeah. Apparently this woman was eating a bat straight out of a bowl and this and that. But the coronavirus patients are in the hospital at the moment. Mm-hmm. And there's footage that's just come out that patients in Wuhan hospital are dining on turtle in quarantine. So apparently, instead of giving them regular chicken, beef, pork, this and that, there was a video and it said tonight's meal includes soft shell turtle meat, which is very exciting. So I can, when they say things aren't racist, and you're like, people in Asian countries eat weird animals. I don't know. It seems like even in the hospital you can
eat animals that are different to taste requirements.
That's right. I would eat it. Someone gave me turtle soup. As long as it didn't have coronavirus.
I was in Vietnam.
I would be right.
I was in Vietnam, and I had a full proper. I was the only white person there. Mm-hmm. This was a proper. I have no idea what I'm eating, and I just thought. I had jellyfish.
Well, how was that?
Right. Very squishy, but then hard. I'm not sure that makes sense.
I get it.
Squishy on
Soft
the outside,
hardcore.
Yeah, but when you bite through, it's hard, but it's squishy. Not sure if that makes any sense.
Like jelly.
Yeah, but different.
But like a
Okay.
fish with a jelly.
Yeah.
Jellyfish.
Can he come back every episode?
Yes.
I had snails in France.
Yeah. Snails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had them.
snails.
They're good.
Yeah.
They've been good. And I think I've had speck, which is like wild pig in Italy. That was very nice.
That sells for quite a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really expensive. It's really lean, like super lean.
These
hell is
pigs are
speck?
jacked.
It's like this. It's wild boar.
Yeah.
So boars out instead of like pigs in a farm. It's like
Yeah.
boars, and they go out and hunt them, and they make like basically salami out of
Yeah.
it. But
Okay.
it's like more of a prosciutto salami.
Got it. Okay.
It's really nice.
All right. So this is the cooking show part
Yeah.
of the podcast.
Oh, you know it. Well, speaking of cooking,
Oh, by the way, I can't remember if
And
I told you
eating.
this. You're going to be on a new YouTube channel.
am I?
Yeah.
Oh god.
It's called From Mother to Son.
Right.
My father's retiring.
Yeah.
He's starting a cooking show on YouTube.
I'm definitely going to be part of this. Am I allowed to talk about what I talked about last episode on this podcast? Because I need to listen. I've got some more clips, but
You
that's-
can talk. You can talk. It's so open, right? Because my dad needs something to do when he retires. And I said, you love cooking, so why don't you do a YouTube channel? And the way that I picture it being, it's sort of a bit like, Top Gear for cars.
Top Gear is for cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. No.
Top Gear for food is what you mean.
Yeah, Top Gear.
I was waiting for him to work that one out. I was on hang.
Yeah, I was working that out. I was like, that's not
There
quite
was a
right.
contemplation going
And
on.
then you put me off guard. You said it's for cars. I'm like, yeah.
Just trying to help you here.
Yeah. Top Gear for food. That is probably the closest approximation.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Is it going to have a crossover with Gourmet Goreng?
Gourmet ring?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll
Maybe.
just do that.
Yeah.
Put things in perspective for you, Steph. Kieran used to have a YouTube show.
No. I didn't have a YouTube
Oh,
show.
no,
It
sorry.
was private viewing only.
Private viewing only.
I wouldn't let it go onto YouTube.
Of three guys having a very good time with a certain kind of plant, and then after that would make mee goreng, but in a gourmet way.
Oh, wow.
And it was very long episodes. They got progressively longer. And then last episode of the podcast, I reviewed a show about people who were pedophiles.
There you go.
They have 13 episodes of this podcast, and I'm going to listen to it all because we had a guy on the show who was into the adult baby diaper lover stuff.
What?
And he was
Is that a
amazing.
thing? I'm so out of this.
So this guy,
Fuck.
yeah,
Yeah.
he wears diapers for both sexual pleasure and just because he's into it.
Yeah.
He likes to regress.
I've got to admit, don't listen to any of our podcasts. That's fine, but listen to that.
That
That
episode's
one.
amazing.
That episode,
It's
yeah.
amazing. And then I wanted to up the ante, so I've been trying to find like a fairy. I've been trying to find like a fairy. I've been trying to find like a flat earther. And then I found this podcast that was about people who were pedophiles, talking about being attracted to minors.
Yeah.
And we reviewed like the first 20 minutes of it, and it was spicy. Let's just say that. Speaking of spice,
Oh, that's a good
Where the fuck are you
segue.
going with this?
You did well.
we're just talking.
Steph was like, this is a respectable podcast.
No.
And then all of a sudden he's now wanting to leave.
Yeah.
I already
no.
listened to an episode. I knew what I was going into.
So speaking of spice and cooking shows and eating turtle soup, one of your articles that you just put out is about mindful eating.
Mm-hmm.
Now this has obviously affected yourself when it comes to the mercury.
Yes.
Limiting the amount of mercury intake and things that would cause additional strain or keeping that mercury within your body and all that sort of stuff. How do you deal with that? How do you talk to people about that in a day-to-day sort of setting for their own sort of well-being?
Yeah, it's a very good thing, very good thought actually, because if I do say so myself, there's this big sort of myth in the health and fitness sphere that calories is all that matters. You know, you can just break foods down into their macronutrients, and as you know, if I'm getting carbs from, let's say, fruit juice, or if I'm getting carbs from a sweet potato, or if I'm getting carbs from, Macca's fries, they're all the same. And I think intuitively everyone knows that that's not true. There's a lot that goes into food that is more than the macronutrients. We've also got our micronutrients, like our vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. And then even beyond that, like once we look after our minerals and vitamins and the macronutrients, we have to look at how we're actually eating. So as you would know, Kieran, our nervous system, we've got our autonomic nervous system composed of our sympathetic and parasympathetic branches.
You're giving me too much credit here. I learned that in first year.
Just run with it. Run with it.
Just the children with autism.
Run with it. So our sympathetic we know is our fight and flight nervous system. You know, like our ancestors, they're getting chased by a lion. They want to mobilize energy, put it into their legs and their arms. They're either going to run up a tree, or climb up a tree, run away, or try and kill this lion. They're going to mobilize all this energy. When they're in that state, their body isn't concerned with detoxification. There isn't concerned with digesting their foods or anything like that. That's where our parasympathetic nervous system comes in, which is our rest and digest nervous system. So this is where mindful eating is really important, because we need to get into that relaxed state when we're eating. If you're someone who eats at the desk, or eats while they're driving in traffic, or eats while they're walking, or God forbid even running or something like that, you're not really digesting your food adequately. You're not
eating while you're running.
People do this stuff. I mean, look, I suppose
it's amazing.
Yeah, marathoners do this, like they get their glucose
yeah.
strips, but you know, you see someone like in the city, they're in a rush, they got a sandwich in one hand and they're sort of chewing. Yeah,
I did the run for the kids once. I stopped and got a donut.
Man, you stopped. Okay. What? So yeah, so running in the city and that's not. It's not allowing the body to digest the food.
Well, it's telling your body, like, we've got, you know, a threat right now. If you're getting some form of stress, you might think, oh, my job's not stressful, but even the fact that you're working, it is usually like telling your body it's not time to eat right now. So you need to let your body know, like, you need to say, hey, it's time to eat. So let's sit down. Let's, you know, spend 5 minutes before we eat, taking a breath or having a walk, or even just chatting with your mates. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be something crazy fancy or some, you know, fantastic new supplement or whatever. Just have a chill with your mates. Go out to the park if it's not raining. You know,
so this is more about the mindset behind when you allocate time for eating.
Yeah, exactly right.
Because I know, like, I'm just thinking about my own experience with this, where I like to go. I step away from the desk when I eat, and I make sure I go for a walk afterwards. That's like my time to sort of relax and this and that. But even I would say, coming from an Italian family, it's like 6 o'clock. It's dinner time. We're all sitting down. This is when we eat and we discuss things, this and that, and we're in that relaxed state of mind. Is this something? Is that an example of what you're talking about?
100%. Yeah, exactly right. It's like you want to get in that. Just let your body know it is time to eat. Don't let it do two things. Don't let it do work. Don't let it go for a run or whatever. Just eat. Chill out. Maybe go for a walk after. Even go for a walk before. Like, you can do these things to really improve your metabolic health, but just at the very basic level, just chill out when you eat. I think most people really enjoy that. You get to enjoy your food a lot more when you do it that way.
Yeah, so we did the whole keto thing.
Yes.
And they talk about carbohydrates and that. And I just went, I'm going to eat as little carbohydrate just in general. And if I am going to eat carbs, it's going to be like stuff from, I guess, from veggies or maybe a bit of fruit or this and that. And I basically just cut out wheat products.
Yeah.
And corn. Corn was the big one. And potato.
And carbs.
Yeah, but those are majority sort of, you know, because sugar turns into carbohydrates.
Well, sugar is carbohydrate.
Exactly.
You mean carbs turn, like, complex carbs turn into sugars in the body?
Basically anything that tastes good.
Yeah, exactly.
Gone.
Right. I didn't have
out of your diet, gone.
I think we all agree a steak tastes pretty good, right?
Yeah.
No carbs in that.
Steak does taste good.
Yeah, see? Come on, Kieran.
Almost anything that tastes good. Yeah.
True. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It does help.
Yeah.
Or sugar tastes pretty good. And beer.
Beer. Yeah, I love beer.
So all these sort of things, when you, like, let's use a basic example for people who are out there who are trying to lose weight and this and that. So I've got a wedding coming up, my own. How am I going to look really super skinny and help out with that sort of thing?
All right, now let me just up the ante a little bit.
You already look good, Turch.
Let's just say the wedding is in 12 months' time.
Yep.
What is the last possible moment that I need to go on a diet to look good for the wedding? Like, can it be like, could I just starve myself for a week? But you know, I can have, you know, all this time eating all this carbs, and then bam, you know, a week I just die
And the dirt is gone.
but I look good. You know what I mean? Or you know, because if I got told, Kieran, that she's getting married in 12 months, you know, and I want to fit back into my suit, which I don't think I'll fit into my suit at the moment, right? So better. I don't want to buy another
That's
one.
the goal.
That's what it is.
Right, that's so.
Keto saves you money.
That's good.
What's the minimal amount of effort needed?
I think you can just do a little bit. Like, 12 months is a long time. Thanks for the invite, by the way.
That's all right. Checks in the mail.
12 12 month is like you don't have to go crazy. It doesn't have to be this really extreme restrictive diet that you do all the time. Figure out what works for you, what is sustainable for you for the longer term. And again, it's not just about calories. It's not just about keto. It's about, can you, even mindful eating. If you're someone who eats when stressed out all the time, even just mindful eating can help you lose some weight, funny enough.
I think I'm very mindful when I eat.
Bit too mindful, maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm at the other end of the scale of mindful. Yeah.
You just eat because why not? Nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I'm watching Netflix and
I
in
just
my
love,
underwear and...
I just love food.
Yeah.
That's just...
I think it's really... Like, some people don't really like food. Like, my brother was never a big eater.
Yeah.
And throughout his whole... Like, even now, like, he's not too much of a big eater. He's very... He can very easily go, nah, I'm not going to eat. Whereas I'm just like, nah, I'm with friends, I'm with family, I'm in that mode, I'm drinking, I'm having fun, I'm going to have some of this, I'm going to have some of that. And that willpower sometimes is very hard to kick in.
Yeah.
I mean, we did Phillip Island,
Oh, yeah.
and there was no
Those nuts and bolts were left out, and
It was all downhill.
And it was downhill from there. That was just thanks, Alice. That was just just. So you're saying I shouldn't? I should make it more sustainable.
Depends on what you're going for. If you're just going for weight loss without the health aspect, yeah, maybe a few weeks before you can lose a couple. It depends on how much you're trying to lose, though. You know what I mean?
I've got to fit back into the suit.
Yeah.
at least 10 kilos then. I think that's our aim for both of us.
Like, I'll be back in Vietnam in April. I'll get a new one made.
This guy just has 50 suits and all slightly bigger than the last.
That's 2018, 2019, 2020.
I was gonna say, like,
I think that's pretty much happening.
You once said to me that they have my measurements. They just whip up the suit. Those don't. They're
No,
not accurate. Not accurate in the slightest. So look, we've nearly had you for an hour here, so we don't want to hold you too much. 'Cause I know you're very busy and all that, but on your website you've got 6 principles. You got 6 principles of I guess
Naturopathic medicine.
naturopathic
Ooh, I
medicine
think I've
is
forgotten
that-
a few of them actually.
You got a few. I've written them down
Thank
because
you.
I'm not that smart. And I can only remember like 3 things at once. And,
I'll second
and one
that.
Of them, and one of them is my name. So the first one you said was be natural. And then it's identify and treat the cause of things, and then treat the whole person. I think you just sort of discussed that a little bit.
Yeah.
When it comes to like things interacting with each other. When it comes to that. And then first do no harm. That was an interesting one for me. Do you want to go on?
Yeah, well, that's like the same as a doctor's oath. First do no harm. When we're prescribing treatments, we want to look at it and say, is this gonna like help? So is there a chance it's gonna hurt somebody? Like, can we avoid this if possible? If there is no other option, like for instance, if someone's had a car accident and like they need surgery, it'll probably do them some harm, the surgery, but the harm of not doing the surgery outweighs that. You know what I mean? So we need to assess. This is a very like sort of microeconomics concept. We need to assess the person. What are the risks? What are the benefits? What are the pros? What are the cons? Do the pros outweigh the cons?
What about do no harm? So let's just say, for instance, Jess is going on, Turch's fiance, is going on this massive health kick.
Yes.
And she does all the grocery shopping.
Yes.
Right. And, she's in control of all the food. And Turch now...
I can see where this is going.
Turch now has to suffer through this, capsicum diet that, Jess
Are you on that one too?
Jess is going to put him on.
Now, Tuesday.
Now, you've said do no harm.
Ooh.
But do no harm to Jess. Yeah.
If Jess is paying, we do no harm to Jess. Fuck Turch.
But Turch is another consequence from that. There's
happy
now harm being caused.
Here's one for you, Kieran.
This is what's happened. My mum's gone on this health kick.
Happy wife, happy life.
No, my mum's gone on this massive health kick. I don't know what diet she's on at the moment. And good on her. But my stepfather, I saw him yesterday and he looks miserable. Like he slipped out that he had a pie at work on Friday.
Oh.
Well, his ear got chewed off for that.
That's good.
And I was like, you look miserable. You look like me when I was on keto. Right? Miserable.
And he said doctors as teacher, which is another one of your principles where it's that consistent learning.
Yeah.
And looking for things. So what would you say, always when people, I hate when people go, like, I've been trying to get flat earth people on the show for a while. They're like, just do your own research.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
That's why people are paying to see you,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like,
I come to these things where it's like, you're the expert. Like, if I want to see an expert about tax, I go see an accountant. If I
look in the
want to
mirror,
see,
he
talks
says.
about, if I want to talk about psychology, I guess I said Kieran. But if
Don't see me.
But if I want to talk about, what are some good resources that we can use online or anywhere else that you know of, or that we can go to obviously plug your website. This is where you plug your website as well.
Oh shit, I got it.
But that's it.
Got the wink there.
That's right. But other than, with your website, obviously that, and some other great resource where people can learn more about this sort of stuff.
I think it's a pretty tough one in the health and nutrition sphere, because for everything you hear, coffee's good, coffee's bad. Keto's good, keto's bad, keto's okay, keto's terrible. It's like there's so much disparity, and I think we have to realize that not everybody knows everything right now. Like some people might be right in the end, some people might be wrong, but we're all doing the best we can with the information we have. So I would say, if you can see things that have been actually scientifically referenced, that's always a great starting point. If like someone makes this claim that this herb does this, check if there's a reference. But the problem with that is you have to know how to read these references as well. You have to know how to read these papers, which is where a trained naturopath or a nutritionist or a doctor comes in handy. But I think even just working with a practitioner and just being curious, people practitioners want to teach you. They don't want, a lot of them don't. They don't want you to have to rely on them for the rest of your life. They want to say, hey, Turch, come to me, I'll see you 5 times in a month, or not that much, but maybe in a few months. And over that time, I want to teach you how to live. So, what is it? Give a man a fish he eats for a day, and teach a man how to fish, and you need to buy him a fishing rod, and then he'll eventually get some fish.
And potentially get mercury poisoning.
Yes, exactly right. Just no tuna, just go for the sardines.
That's right.
And all those little ones there. But
and obviously the prevention, you talk about the prevention on your website as well. So it's obviously learning all those things that we've just discussed and using that as a for yourself.
To live a healthy lifestyle, to avoid getting these illnesses in the first place. To now that I know about mercury, I'm telling everyone about it. I don't want anyone else to have to deal with what I had to deal with, and I'm still sort of going through. So let them know. Avoid mercury fillings if your dentist prescribes them. Go for the composite fillings. Avoid large fish. Support your detoxification pathways. The best way to get rid of an illness is to not get it in the first place. Obviously, easier said than done. You can't avoid everything, but you can get a rock solid body with a fantastic immune system that's going to deal with these things much better than someone who's really sick.
There you go. Kieran, you got any final questions for Steph while he's here?
What's the fastest way I can lose weight?
Easy. I got a really proven method. You lose about 15 or 10 to 20 kilos depending on the person. You chop off your right arm.
Oh, that's good.
From the shoulder, through the glenohumeral joint, whatever that one is.
Yeah.
Just clean cut.
Yeah.
That's
it.
It
grows back.
10 to 20.
I've heard.
This is great medical advice from Turch. This is not medical advice.
Simpson when he's got his 2 hands and 2 arms in the vending machines and they're about to cut him. I was like, no, grow back, right? Yeah. They certainly will. Oh, Kieran, I've learnt a lot today.
I think that is a principle of our podcast.
We learned about so many things.
Podcasters as teachers.
That's right. And next week we've got some guests on as well. It's very exciting about that. But
we've got 2 on next week.
Double. Yes, 2 in the studio. It's going to be, hopefully it's not as hot as this of today. It's so disgusting. But nonetheless, Steph, where can we find all your goodness and all your fun and all that sort of stuff that you've been talking about through this show? And if people want to get in contact you about all this sort of stuff, because you do naturopathy.
Yeah, still a student, guys. Still a student, just so we know. Yeah. Got a year and a half to go at my degree, but you can find me on Instagram, Stefan Filippo Health. So that's Stefan Filippo with 1 L and 2 P's, so Filippo Health. I hope you can spell that one. Same deal on Facebook. Website just stefanfilippohealth.com, and there we go. That's where to find me. And then you can maybe find me in Reservoir, but.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
And we'll put all the links and stuff in the description of this episode for you guys as well. Kieran, thank you so much for another fantastic show.
I love how you thank me for turning up each week. Thank you, Turch.
Well, you used to come from Ballarat.
Yeah.
And then you used to thank me when I used to drive all the way to Watsonia.
Yeah. Did I? Oh.
Back in the day.
We started in Watsonia.
We definitely did.
In a
garage.
In a garage. Yeah.
And
I got shit-faced for the first 10 episodes because I didn't have to drive. That's very true. We've come so far from those days.
Come so far. Steph, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking about all this sort of stuff. And for all you lovely wankers out there, we call our fans wankers because that's what they decided.
Yeah, I like that.
It's great. So make sure you follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you'd like to send us some hate mail, a death threat, or a rant, record it on your phone and email us at onlydoonetechpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you all for a lovely, fun, exciting, and knowledgeable episode, and we will see you
Next Thursday.
Hey.
I was waiting for like the press the button or something.
Oh yeah, I'll put that in post.
There we go. That was fun.
Because you've listened to it and it does the music at the end.
I can't remember. I just
Yeah,
thought I just thought it'd be like
Which one did you listen to?
the teacher one. I think Turch, that's the one you sent me.
Teacher
Something
one.
about teachers.
Oh, were we bagging Turch's mum?
I think so. That's the one. Yeah.
It's every time we talk about teachers.